Good morning. Make sure I'm live. Sometimes I forget to hit the go live button and I forget to put myself up on here. And I'm itching still. Went down to the coast Friday, this past Friday, and went crabbing and fishing. Mainly just crabbing. We didn't do a whole lot of fishing. The tide just wasn't right. When you go down where the fish are affected by the tide, they got incoming tide, they got an outgoing tide. And incoming tide is pushing water up into the marsh, up into all the weeds, and it's hard to get to the fish. Kind of get up all in them weeds, going to some of them little ponds up in the marsh, and it's hard to get to them because the water's not that deep. You have to have a different kind of boat to get up in there sometime, and when you look out over, if you ever been fishing down in the marsh, you can look out over a big expanse of water and think, oh my goodness, that's a big, deep, and it may only be a few inches deep. And you get your boat stuck in there quick. And I want you to know it's not fun. I've done it. So anyway, the tide wasn't really right for bass fishing. Catfish should have done better than they did, but we got, I don't know, 20, 30 catfish. They wasn't any size to them, but I mean, it was big enough to keep. And we got about 6 dozen crabs. I went back and I refigured how many we caught. So I think we had about 6 dozen. So about 72 crabs that we kept. They had to be a certain length. And so we done pretty good with the crabs. But the doggone gnats, y'all, the gnats, I guess they're gnats. I don't know what they are, but they just will drive you up the wall. I got little bites all over me. My face is starting to peel. Let's see. Well, you can't see it. I put sunscreen right here and on my big old honker and on my ears because, y'all, I'm a pale redhead. A pale redhead gets burnt and gets burnt easy. But I didn't put any on my cheeks because it wasn't really sunny. But it was kind of windy. If you ever been out on the marsh, you know what I'm talking about. You're going to get burnt one way or the other. But the tide has to be going a certain way. And what happens when the tide is coming out, it's coming out of that grass. It's coming out of the marsh. And it's bringing all that bait fish with it. And if you can find a place where there's a runoff, you know, where the water is coming back into the main body, the main channels, most of the time you can sit back off of one of those and catch all you want because they're just stacked up right there. All the bass, all the predator fish, redfish, a lot of times specks and even flounders and whatever else in that brackish water. There's all kind of stuff. But anyway, we had a good time. I don't know how I got started on that. I can't remember now. Oh, I was itching. I was scratching doggone gnat bites. I had a zillion of them, like a gazillion of them. And then we made the mistake a couple times. We said, well, let's just pull up on the bank so we can get our stuff, our equipment done. Oh, no, you don't go up on the bank. No. The gnats are crazy. You got to get out in the middle and hope the wind kind of drives them off of you. Because if you get up next to the bank, you in all kind of trouble. Let me get over here real quick. I'm not going to be on here long this morning because I ain't feeling. Belinda stayed home with a migraine. And so I got to take care and make sure she's all right. But I do want to say hello to y'all. Hey, Terry. I'm just assuming this is Terry. Good to see you. Sarah, good to see you, Sarah. Appreciate you coming in. Jen, I had to look at that twice since it was so early in the live stream. I'm just picking Jen. Good to see you. Appreciate you coming in. There's our friend Paul. Appreciate you coming. Howdy, driving and listening. On the road again. Friend Scott up in Canada. Hope you're doing well up there. Good morning, Katie. Good to see you. Good to see you, Deb, from Coffee Walks and Whatever. She just realized she's on OJ's channel. I think he'll be all right with that. I don't think he'll mind. Don't think he'll mind. Hello, D. Homestead in the Wood. Good to see you. Dirt Road Destiny. Good to see you. The Goat Whisper. Chicken Whisper. Goat and Chicken Whisper. Hey there, Miss Mary. Good to see you. Yeah, you'd have had a good time down there on the coast with us. I went with Stanley. I went with Stanley and Paul. You know Paul. You know Brother Joe Lott. Went with him. Of course, Stanley's son Luke. Miss Mary knows all these folks, by the way. And you'd have had a good time. Had a good time. There's lag at the start. I don't know what you're talking about. I hope it's not affecting the stream too bad. Catfish is yummy. It is yummy. And you know what is weird? Because most of them that we caught Friday was channel cats. Most every time you go down there, you generally catching blues, big old blues, good sized blues. 8, 10 pounds, sometimes 15 pound blues. And I like the blues. I like the blues better than any of them. My son, he likes the channels better, but I don't like the channels. They're yellow. They're not as good to me. I just don't like them as much. They're smaller. I guess people catch bigger channel cats somewhere, but I never have. They're a whole lot easier to clean out because they're smaller. But anyway, I got it done. I'm planning. I want to go. I talked to my buddy Joe, and we're going to try and get us a flounder trip. Go down there. I hadn't caught flounder in I don't know how many years. It's been a long, long time. I don't get out there too much anymore. But I talked to him about it. He said, "Oh man, we'll go down there and catch them whenever he knows when the best time to catch them." So we're going to go down there and catch them sometime, hopefully, because I like flounder. Flounder is one of my favorite fish to eat too. We went down to the coast one time. Me and my next door neighbor growing up, and somebody he knew from college. Anyway, he called me up. I can't remember where. I think I was living probably in Texas. I don't remember now, but anyway, I just remember him calling and say, "Hey, look, I got a place down at Grand Isle, Louisiana. His buddy had a house down there, and he said, you want to go down there and let's go see if we can catch some specks." And I said, "I'd love to." And we went down there, and we couldn't catch any specks. Well, we caught them, but they had to be a certain length, and everyone we caught was just under that length. I think they had to be 12 inches, and everyone we caught was like 11 inches. And we just couldn't catch enough to save our life. Well, we noticed some people out in the Gulf wading, and they reached down and they were pulling up flounder. They're reaching down there with their hands and pulling up flounder. And sometimes they'd pull up a stingray. That's just crazy. Some of the folks down there, they kind of crazy. So we got looking. So we went out there, but we got a little net, and you could get out there and you could feel around. And I had, we had our little shoes on because I'm not stepping on stingray, y'all. I'm just not. But we had our shoes on to kind of protect us somewhat, and you could feel around, and you could feel them, and you could step on them, and get your net up under and dip them up. And none of them was real big, but I think we caught like 12 or 15 of them that way, and had a flounder fry, something like that evening. And boy, they some kind of good. I just like flounder. I like flounder. Did I tell y'all I like flounder? Hey, Mark, good to see you, my friend. Appreciate you coming in. There's Gwen. Good to see you, Gwen. There's Tony and Joni from up there in Canada. Appreciate y'all coming. Lazy Day, Jesse. I sure didn't figure y'all come in. Y'all still gone, or I can't keep up with y'all. We've been kind of crossing in different paths here lately, I've noticed, but that's all right. That's all right. We just, when you live, get busy. Truly hope Steve gets the relief the rest of us do. I don't have a clue what you're talking about, Scott. I really don't. I've been kind of out of the loop. Y'all, I'm in. Thank you so much. Prayers for Blenda. Hope Blenda gets to feeling better. Migraine's no good. I don't know what it is. Every now and then she'll just have it. Hey, Janet, good to see you. Hey, my friend Bunky, moderator extraordinaire. Hello, Beth.
You can tell him I said thank you.
Blenda said thank y'all. Magnificent Germany with Darian. Howdy from Jamaica. Okay. Hope everything's good. I need a goat and chicken whisperer t-shirt. Yep. Yeah, you do. Thank you, Miss Mary. You visited with my mom and dad. You did. You came all the way over here and visited with them. I did not know that. I wish I'd known that. I'd have drove out there and seen you. I sure would have. What was Sunday? Sunday was just a regular Sunday. I don't think it was the third Sunday. It's the fourth. Yeah, I could have come out there and seen you. Sure could have. Good morning, Teresa. Y'all, anyway, I'm in. I don't have much time today because I've got to get around. I got all kind of stuff I got to do. I'm in revival this week at a church that's about an hour and 15 minutes from my house, so it takes a little bit to get there. I got to meet them early they feeding supper tonight, so I'm going to have to leave an hour earlier than what I normally would. So that's 2 hours and 15 minutes earlier than what I would normally have in the day. And so in order to get everything done that I need to get done, I'm probably just going to have to shut it down here pretty shortly. But, and plus I don't know what all else is going on. You never know around here. Flounder is yummy too. So is flounder. Drink a tub of water and salve. Sounds like you're floundering. Whack, whack, whack. You wasn't invited. I'm sorry, Miss Mary. I'm sorry, Crazy and Casey. No, yeah, they are too. Some of them. Water down there, it's a whole different world. Yeah, I imagine it would be from up there where you're at, Evan. But it's a different world. But man, I love it. I do. I don't think I could live down there, but it's just something about being out in the marsh in that brackish water, the smell, I don't know. It's just different. There's no telling what you'll catch. There's alligators. You see alligators. You see wild hogs. So look, there won't be a tree. There won't be a tree. It looks like within miles. I was actually on the edge of the Gulf a year or so ago, out in the marsh, right where the river, I guess what is it, the Pearl River, goes out into the Gulf, and you actually had to go out in the Gulf a little bit and go down and then come up to get into the marsh. They had like a little path that went up in it, one of the channels, and we come around a curve and there's this big old humongous hog on the side of the marsh. I mean, it had to have been 150, 180 200 pounds. I don't know. He was big, and he just like looked at us because we was just had our trolling motor on, and I guess he didn't hear us, and it like surprised him as much as it surprised us, and we just stared at each other for a minute, and then he took off through the marsh, and I thought to myself, how in the world did they live down there? How do they live? I mean, I can understand they got food. I mean, them hogs eat anything, but I can imagine all the crabs and all the shrimp and all the fish and all the snakes and all the alligators and all the frogs and all the things that a pig could probably get a hold of. Because, you know, when the water comes, the tides ebb and flow like that, they leave little pockets of water that's not very deep. And whatever's left in there is trapped in there. And so I'm sure they eat really well, but my goodness, I just can't imagine living out there. Right on the edge of the Gulf Coast of Mexico, there was a pig right there. You just have to see it to be out there to know what I'm doing. It's not like, you know, looking out over an open field or nothing like that. It's just a flat land and nothing but weeds, basically. And it's like nothing's out there. And yet there's so much stuff that's out there. Does that make sense? I hope it makes sense. My greenhouse is coming along. Oh, y'all are still in Oregon. Oh, goodness. You up early this morning then. What was I saying? Oh, the greenhouse. The greenhouse is coming along good. I hadn't done anything on it. I'd need to cut another window or two out of it and brace it up a little bit more. But y'all, I just get lazy, son. I've been working on other things, and one thing after the other comes up. I got to focus on one thing at a time, and once that focus is lost, then I'm done. I'm done for the day. I'm done for the day. Good morning, Shannon. It's good to see you. I seen where you was going to have your last Chatterbox Live Friday. Kind of makes me sad. I always enjoyed seeing you and Sherry. Y'all got along so well. I know you'll still get along, but anyway, I'll be all right. Hey, Miss Virginia, good to see you. Good to see Miss Virginia. I always like seeing Miss Virginia. Hey, Neil, good to see you. Everybody that's come in, if I've missed you, I'm so sorry. It is hard to explain. Good morning, Tractor Talk with Gary. Good to see you. Appreciate you coming in. Sacrament of my name at Bunky's Garden. Jaws, Jaws. They got sharks. They got all kind of stuff down there. You just never know what you're going to catch when you go down there to the Gulf. Hey, Peter. Good to see you. Hello, Beth. Team Jaws. All righty. Y'all, I've got my garden. I got the fence around my garden. I got it put up. Hopefully that's going to keep the rabbits out. I only done 3 sides. The side facing the woods and the 2 sides coming up. And then I got a wire across the other side to keep the dogs out because the dogs will get it. But, so I'm hoping my beans will come up pretty good. I still got to get my sweet potato slips. They're not doing too good. I got some that's growing in here on the windowsill, but the ones out in the greenhouse aren't coming up too good. I got to get new flower. I got to get some more flower seeds because all my flower seeds didn't do too well. I got a few, but not a whole lot. So I need to redo that. So I guess I need to run today and get some of those so I can get them planted. What else I got? I got loofah coming up. I got moringa. Y'all, what do you do with moringa? Moringa. I got some from somebody. And I remember seeing some people talk about it, but I don't know what you do with moringa. Is it something you eat or is it something I don't know what you do with it. but I got it growing, y'all. I got it growing. I was told to grow it. If you can grow it, grow it. And so I grow. I guess I need to look it up because I can't remember. I just remember there was a specific reason why I was supposed to grow it. So I'm growing it, and I got it growing. You eat it. Okay. Thank you, Teresa. Appreciate that. Thank you, Katie. Anyway, I can't think of a whole lot else. I've got to get around. I appreciate you all coming. I apologize for it being so short this morning. My brain is just, I was watching, trying to get psyched up a little bit with some music, but it just didn't. Moringa powder is a superfood. Dehydrate the leaves and make green powder. Huh. Apparently I need to look into it more, don't I? Appreciate that, y'all. Appreciate it. And it fights cancer. I don't need more anger. And it's also a cool dance move. I'm liking it more and more. I'm liking it more and more. Y'all, I appreciate y'all coming in. Let me know what seeds you need, Chuck. I might have. Thank you, Teresa. I appreciate that. I've got a bunch of seeds, but a lot of I don't have any just flower seeds. And I got to look around and figure out what me and Belinda wants to plant. When I say me and Belinda, I say Belinda because she cares more about them flowers than I do. But I'm going to get on off here, y'all. I appreciate y'all so much. Appreciate you coming in and listening and being a part. And again, I apologize for being so short on here today. And I guess I could have had somebody up, but I got my mind elsewhere. Does that make sense? When you have your mind elsewhere, it's kind of hard to concentrate and give you full focus like you need to. And I don't want to do y'all that way. So y'all have a fantastic day. God bless you. And y'all pray for us. If you're praying, folks, pray for us for the revival this week. And Lord bless. And we'll talk to y'all later.